Welcome to the Sing to Thrive podcast. Today, we welcome Lisa Goldman, an instinctive meditation guide who believes that meditation can be as natural as breathing. Through her unique approach, she helps others rediscover their own doorway into stillness. She's here to share her journey, her practice, and how sound, nature, and creativity can be powerful gateways to deeper healing and self-discovery. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
We are happy to have you. I want to kick this off because I love that you say meditation is instinctive and inherent in everyone. Understanding yourself in context to what you love the most. It was that stuck out to me. And that you said that the starting point of creating a deep meditation practice is understanding what you love the most. And I thought, oh, that makes so much sense. I love singing. I love voice work. That is the one thing that really helps me to go deep in my meditation practice. And I was thinking, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of swimming and I loved it. And I could get into a meditative state while I was swimming. I thought of cyclists, dancers. So it really is, I think, about doing something that we love and surrendering into that process. So where did your journey start with meditation, and what can you explain to us what the difference is between instinctive meditation and normal, or what we've been taught as normal meditation?
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, so instinctive meditation. So my journey, let's go back much further. My journey into meditation started before I even knew I was meditating. But back probably 35 years ago, I remember the first time that a friend of mine and I were more intentionally meditating through breathing. And we were basically, laying down in my living room, and we were just breathing and focusing on our breath. And it was beautiful. And it was the first time where I did it like an intentional type of meditation. However, through all the years, I didn't realize I was just like you said, singing, swimming. I too love the water. So anytime I was in or around the water, it's as if there's a unification of your physical embodied presence and your spiritual being. And they come together so naturally, you're not even thinking about it. It's just you're in a state of what we call either flow, or you're just extremely joyful and happy in that state. Like for me, being in the ocean, walking near the ocean, seeing the ocean, music is it's probably one of my greatest joys in life. And another reason why I'm so happy, although I'm not a singer, nor am I a musician, music is honestly the love of my life for sure. And I feel the most connected to not only myself, but to everything through music. There's just something so deeply spiritual about music. Beyond the joy that it brings, there's something that takes you to another place. So all that to say, what do I love? I love dancing. I love music. I love also swimming, water, being in nature. That's such an easy way to access the meditative state. So all this to say, for years and years, I've meditated intentionally. I started practicing Kundalini several years ago, which really spoke to me because of the musicality in it. There's so much. It just was a different kind of meditation that connected to my soul quickly. And so I've done a lot of different types of meditation, and they're all beautiful. But I had found this Radiant Sutras book years ago, and it's just gorgeous and stunning. And I know you know Lauren Roche, my teacher, and Camille Maureen, his wife. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful teachers. And so shortly after the lockdown and pandemic, for the first time, they offered their teacher training online. And it was just a perfectly timed gift. We were all just home. And that's when I decided to, study with them. And that was where everything sort of changed, where I really learned about instinctive meditation, of course, and just, connected so deeply with the fact that I had been meditating in all these ways without really being aware that it's meditation, other than the fact that I was so connected, not only to something higher than me or the highest part of me, the deepest part of me, my soul. So that's why it's instinctive to all of us, because we all have our own unique pathways and doorways into that process.
Love that. And particularly love that you do Kundalini yoga. I'm like, oh, we could be sisters. Like, seriously, I'm listening to you and I go, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. The water, the music, the dancing, the movement. You know, when we can surrender and get out of our minds and just allow ourselves to move to music, that puts us in, it's like a flow state.
Yes.
And I truly believe that because music is shifting like cymatics, it's organizing energy, because every sound has a unique blueprint. It's got a unique pattern. And as we listen to certain music, that's having an effect on every single cell in our body. And it's bringing us into alignment with that pattern. And that's what I think's so miraculous about music, because we all respond without even trying. It just has that effect on us because we're energy and it's flowing through us. So
yes, miraculous. There's not a better word. Music truly is, it's life-saving as far as I'm concerned. In those moments, it's elevating. Yeah, I'm and that's why I incorporate music into my meditations, which I love this, union between us three right now. Like I said, I will admit that if I had had any talent or any dream come true in this lifetime, I would have definitely been a jazz singer, 100%. Maybe it's not too late. I don't know, but
it's not.
Never too late.
It's not too late. And I mean, and that's part of why we run the online school that we've got, Sing to Thrive, the Healing Hub. We have got people that have come in that have hidden their voice for so long because they took on a belief in their childhood that they couldn't sing, or whatever that story was. And they start freeing their voice, and it's like, wow, you've got an amazing voice. And the thing is, we all do. When we're relaxed, when we're out of judgment, when we're just surrendered to allowing ourselves to sing what's coming to us, or along with some beautiful music, that's when we create a beautiful sound.
It's funny because I had a student this morning who, there's a whole backstory there, but it was funny how he was like, oh, you'd have a really good time sitting out in the forest and listening to all the different octaves and pitches of the birds. And he was like, I wonder if any of them sing out of key. I was like, they definitely don't. I was like, maybe they would change the dissonance of their voice if they're in pain or if it's a call for help. But they're not singing out of tune per se. And I was like, that's kind of how we're designed as well. I was like, that's how we would be if we weren't conditioned and programmed and all these other things through childhood and through life experience that impacts the flow of the voice. We would just be like the birds, being able to sing whatever comes naturally.
You make such a beautiful point about, the natural world. And, in many respects, we have been, maybe because of our own ego, thought to be the higher intelligence, or, because we have an intellect. I think in many ways it's set us back. When you, like you said, the birds, they're not overthinking, they're not even thinking about, they're just being a bird. They're just being themselves. They're in their natural flow state. That's the beauty of nature, and what we can learn from what I believe are the ascended ones. Nature in all its forms. I mean, we have obviously a lot to offer, but we do get in our own way a lot. And so
Mm.
what you two are doing and what you're offering is so beautiful. Like you said, to be, just at calm and at peace within your own heart space where, of course you can sing because, when you get
Yeah.
out of your own way or out of that, which is fear, right? Everything is possible.
Mm. I don't know if anyone can hear the birds in the background here. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear them
They
today.
just
You're
started
loud
going,
and
yeah, I moved further away from the window today. But normally they're very loud. Anyway, as soon as they were quiet before and they've just gone off again. The Australian crow, if anyone hears a bark bark in the background. But on the point of it's never too late, I've literally in the last month a lady who is 89 years old who has played piano her entire life, like absolutely, for lack of a better term, shreds on piano. Like she just
Wow.
brings in sheet music and she'll just play it. But never before has she ever sung. She's 89 and
Wow.
she's just like so determined to learn how to sing before she dies. And so it was quite funny when she called me like 15 times in one day, really just so passionately wanting to book in, and I was not available to answer the phone, obviously. Anyway, she finally made it and I was like, oh right, you're 89. Okay. Can I have some compassion for the 15 phone calls?
That's incredible.
But
Well,
literally a month later, she's performing for the aged home that she lives in, and she's like, everyone's saying my voice is getting so much better. And she is loving it, like absolutely loving it. And it just goes to show, okay, it doesn't matter how old you are. If it's something that you desire and something that you want to do for yourself, then you can do it at any time. And I feel like that goes for
and
everything.
it's a muscle. It's like
Mm,
anything. Singing, you practice when you practice singing, when you sing more, and even not thinking about it as practice, but just singing for the pure joy of singing, creating sound, because your voice is the perfect blueprint for your body. So, Lisa, your voice is the perfect healing
mm,
tool for you. It can help others for sure, but our own voices are what activate the DNA blueprint. It's amazing that, I mean, we are, it's like our voice is our own very own God given healing tool. It is. We've been given
yeah, that
everything
is
we need.
beautiful.
So the voice, yeah, the voice is so potent. And the last 100 years, it's been slowly sort of not in, excluded from the family home. Like I grew up with, we had a pianola, there was a lot of singing around the home, and I could get into meditative states just singing.
Hmm.
Thinking about it now, it's like, yeah, I was just blissed out on just singing along music. And but that you just don't hear of that much anymore with families having the piano and having people sing along. And
That's true. And think about singing the way that you're breathing when you're singing.
yep.
Of course you're blissed out because you're just like, what is that saying from Wim Hof? You're high on your own supply. It's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
breathing techniques he does before the cold plunges. It's like, because we have that, obviously, like you said, we have every God-given gift from the moment we take our first breath. It's all inside of us. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So you heard it here first. I am going to be a jazz singer before I
Yeah,
I
well,
love it.
come on the hub, because if anyone can help you, Madeline can. Absolutely. And there's lots of
die.
really amazing somatic. When I first started teaching, I was noticing what I was feeling in my body, and I was teaching through that, saying, okay, this is what it should feel like. And being so empathic, I could feel what they were doing and say, all right, just relax that part of your body and use this. Once you get to the feeling, it's like anything, you become more embodied in it. And it's like riding a bike. It becomes so natural to sing from your power and to project clearly, because it's not just about singing, it's about how we express ourselves, how we use our voice to broadcast ourselves to the world. And if we're not in our hearts, then it won't be as magnetic. because the heart's 5,000 times more magnetic than the head, than the brain. So if we're in our inner, the inner critic's got a story going on and we're thinking about that when we're speaking or singing, that really affects the magnetism of what we're saying energetically. People pick up on it. They might not understand it, but they'll pick up on it. And so through what you do and how you help clients, so before you're going to take us through a beautiful meditation. So before we do that, just share with us what are some of the things that to give people tips on what they can do at home. How do you help people?
Sure. So first and foremost, like we spoke about I help people by listening to them, by speaking with them, by hearing what is it that you love? What is it that, like, especially going back to like childhood, when we're young, when we're so, just in our own knowing without knowing. And so it's really connecting with that person and listening, and then really mirroring back to them what they love, and using those emotions, their desires. This goes for each of us, but what I help people understand is what do you love so much, just like Lauren said, that you want to merge with, that you want to become one with, that you love so much. And for me, I love music so much, and I'm also a writer, and I love writing. And so when I started studying with them, and that's why it was like I found my home as far as, incorporating meditation, which is something I've always loved. It's something that's so natural for me to essentially drop into that state of presence. When I was able to literally combine two of my most, the things I love the most, which is music and writing, and being able to create my own meditations and choreograph music with them and use my voice in the way that I can, probably because music and sound and that long held childhood dream and desire, not even childhood, when I listen to music, I am literally in another place, and I am visualizing myself performing or singing in front of people. That has never left me. And it's really powerful. And that is definitely probably one of my favorite ways to meditate, is to lose myself in the music, in the sounds.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. If more people could just do that, because and it's the dream that's dreaming you. The higher self is always sending us messages. It's always communicating with us and showing us. And I can speak from absolute experience that when I started really following that childhood yearning, that's when my health improved 1,000-fold, because I stopped denying what I really wanted, what my heart yearned for. So I think that's really powerful for people, because so many people can relate to that. And truly, and I mean, I'm giving the hub another plug, but truly that's what that's for. Because
I love that.
It's really about helping people waking up. What was that thing that as a little one you felt so excited about and that just lit you up? What is that? Because how many of us have blocked that and told ourselves it's not possible, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever. There's a million stories we tell ourselves.
I would say probably all of us, because I think it is the path. Like we talked about, you mentioned conditioning and society, and just, what we're born into a set of beliefs, a set of rules, a set of, it's just a set of structures. And it's up to us to, again, not to overuse the metaphor of the path, but to get on that road that is ours, and remember, because when we're children, when we're little, not to take away, that, everyone has different circumstances and things that they go through when they're little, but children are truly so fresh from the source. And so
Connected.
there is a remembering, a forgetting, and then hopefully a remembering again along the way.
Mm.
And I think what I write, my meditations are different, but they are poetry, and I describe it as visual poetry, but with the music. So I just try to incorporate every aspect of our humanity, from our of course our emotional body, our physical body, um, our desires, our natural instincts, our natural rhythms, our senses. In fact, this meditation today is kind of an homage to my teachers, and really what they call the path of intimacy. Instinctive meditation is the path of intimacy, and how beautiful is that?
Mm.
Into me see, because
Yeah,
intimacy
I love
into
that.
me see. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, Maddy, go
that's,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
I'd just like to just revisit before we dive into this experience. And forgive me if you said it before, but just as a really kind of clear distinction between the difference of what instinctive meditation is, as opposed to trying to still your mind from any thoughts and focus on your breathing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So instinctive meditation welcomes every part of you. So in other long held, traditions in Zen Buddhism, of what am I thinking of?
Meditation practices.
Transcendental meditation.
Mm.
Um, there's precepts to that. There's either a mantra involved. There is a way to sit. There is a way to breathe. There is languaging
Many
around,
rules.
yes, quieting the
Yeah.
mind. There's none of that language. Instinctive meditation is truly a welcome mat. It's an invitation to find the doorway that is natural and instinctive to you. So in other words, if you want to sit up, if you want to lay down, if you want to close your eyes, if you want to open your eyes, if you want to be doing mudras throughout the meditation, and you can, everything is welcome. It's a welcome mat to just follow your own instinctive nature. So that's why we say, a lot of people think they'll come to me and say, I can't meditate, or it's too hard for me, and my mind is always going, and I can't stop my mind. You're right, you can't stop your mind. The mind will not stop. It's built to keep going and just taking. It's a computer. It's taking in information, it's integrating, it's processing, it's analyzing, and it really can get in the way of being back to that your natural instinctive nature, whatever that means. So of course, when you're out in nature, for most people who do that, it just happens. You just get right into being present. If you're looking at the flowers, or if you're near the ocean, you're listening, you're seeing, you're sensing, you're smelling, you're tasting. All these different senses we have is a doorway. So it's every aspect of our humanity is brought into the meditation practice. It's unlimited, as opposed to limitations or rigidity or rules or a way to think or not think, or to be or not be. This is a beautiful welcome to be yourself, to truly be yourself.
Beautiful.
And honor what the body is communicating with you. Because I had that huge realization when I did that workshop with Lauren, the author of Radiant Sutras, was
Yes.
I've always been a rebel. Yeah, hold the book up. I've always been a rebel when it's come to, like, you've got to sit a certain way, you've got to do something. As part of me is like, I don't want to do that, actually. I want to do this. This feels more comfortable, and I can get in a more blissed out state than trying to sit a certain way and not be, so I would become very rebellious. And I felt so good about. Yep, go on.
I'm so sorry we're more alike then. I too am a rebel, and I've never been a rule follower, because we know ourselves. When you know yourself, you know what feels good for you. And that is a beautiful thing, to know ourselves, because we all have our own. And I heard you say this. I definitely watched every second of that, and other podcasts of yours with Lauren, because that was very synchronistic and fortuitous that popped up, soon before we did this, because I didn't know you knew him. And I was like, wow, it was amazing to me. And I just lost my train of thought. But one of the things that you were talking about, God, I'm so sorry, I lost my train of thought on what I was going to say. But essentially, yeah, we were talking about rules and not having rules. And Lauren said something really profound in that meditation. I'm sorry, it'll come back to me.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
fine.
lost my train of
Happens
thought.
to me all the time.
Okay, good. But,
Yeah.
we were talking about just, I think just being true to who we are, I know what I was going to say. You used the term our signature, and you said sign of nature. And I had never heard that before. Julia said that. It's our sign of nature. I thought that was so profound and beautiful. And that's what I was going to say. We all have our own signs from nature, our own signature in every single way. And so meditation, of course, it's just, we need to be true to who we are.
Yep, exactly. We are all unique in our pattern, in our signature. Everyone's got, our DNA are like antennas. We are a signal.
Yeah.
And we're interacting with the field, but actually what Greg Braden's work is, what's now emerging is the field is emerging from us. Because when we're really connected and we're listening to that higher part of ourselves, that source, to God, whatever you want to call it, to that highest wisdom, and we're allowing that to flow through and taking action on that and living our lives through that, then we start to become that harmonic blueprint, that harmonic signature of that pattern. Can you feel that? Just talking about it, I can feel it. So it's as soon as this is where the voice is so critical. As soon as we don't speak up for ourselves, we've abandoned ourselves. So there's part of that pattern that when they say to be whole, it's actually bringing all those parts of ourselves, the pattern, your unique signature, back to whole. Because if we abandon ourselves, then we're just ignoring, there's an aspect of us that will never be healed until we look at it and accept it and love it, to then bring that pattern back in. So that signature, our signature tone, our voice, and the more you come into alignment, and I've seen this with clients. I had this man that couldn't sing 3 notes in the scale. It was so bizarre. And we did a past stage clearing and healing. That's a process that we've been taught. I was taught this 24 years ago. And he went back to a childhood memory of being really scolded by a nun for not singing the right notes. And the amount of anger that came up out of him when we were doing this process was amazing. He let out all this grief, this anger, really expressed it. And then he came back to balance, and then we sat down and I played the notes again. Voila, he could sing them. So all that pent up emotion and the belief systems that are stuck there are all affecting the physical body, making us contract, affecting our tone. When you free that, everything relaxes open. And I saw that with myself. I was just a perfectionist and so full of judgment, and the inner critic was always switched on when I was, many years ago. And clearing that, my voice, everything relaxed open. I was more relaxed. I was easier to be around because I was more relaxed. My voice sounded more beautiful because I was more relaxed. It's all about us being relaxed, relaxing in who we are in the moment, surrendering and listening. Yeah, listening to that. Like, I loved how you started that before, saying, I listen. So many people just feel unheard, and it's really sad. I used to feel that way as a child. No one ever listens to me. And then we carry that belief into our adult years, and then we perceive through those filters when they probably are listening, but we just shut it out then because we just think that we're telling ourselves we're repeating a pattern. So the listening's so important. So is it time for our meditation?
Yes. And that was
Definitely time.
a beautiful transition.
Beautiful.
Everything you said is perfect for where we're about to journey together.
And I'd be inviting everyone to have some water right now. Anyone listening, just have a drink of water before we embark on this beautiful journey with Lisa.
Beautiful. All right. So let's take a breath together and connect our breath to the one breath. The path of intimacy is a call to remember. To remember what you love. What does intimacy mean to you? What do you love so much you would become one with it? This path may feel distinctly familiar, and it may feel distinctly unknown. But this path is calling you. It's calling you to remember. This path is your heart's deepest calling, where the heart will know its deepest longing. I invite you to step onto this path. Settle in and trust your instincts to lead the way. Always knowing where you want to go and where you want to be. Listen to your voice. Follow your natural rhythms. Trust your emotional intelligence. Be aware of your mindful presence. Feel the pulse of your desires. Remember the melody of your beating heart. Connect with the harmonic wisdom of your soul. With all your senses activated, what do you see? Do you envision a place of profound beauty? Allow your imagination to run wild, beyond your eyes. Beyond the winding river, creating expansive ground beneath your feet. Beyond the rising rocks, along the banks of ascending mountains. Beyond the majestic trees, as high as the mind can perceive. Beyond colors, textures, flowers, rain falling from an ethereal place where water appears as a mirage beyond the horizon. Visions of grandeur from every direction. Inner vision merging with your grandest, furthest vision as the eagle flies beside you. Allow your visions to fly free, where you hear the sweet reminder that you are limitless. See beyond your own eyes into the eyes of love, where perception is beauty and beauty is you. Remember this tone. Remember this cadence. Remember, you are your greatest vision come true. What do you hear? Is it the sound of sweet nothings from one voice to another? Allow yourself to slip into the song of your soul. What key makes your heart sing? Sound is the first, the last, the only sense that exists inside and outside of our embodied experience. Inside and outside of time, space, matter. Your mother's womb plays the same soundtrack as the great mother's song of the universe. An arrangement from other lifetimes. A chorus of wails and waves of wonder, lapping shorelines, a composition written in the stars. Melodic strands of DNA dancing with cellular memory. The sound of your first breath, your first kiss, the whisper of desire floating from ear to ear. The bird song, the bass line, your love song awaits. An audible silence so still you can hear everything and nothing, because yours is the sweet melody you've been searching for. What is that fragrance? Notes and accords that can only be described in a language with no words, and a song with no lyrics. A signature scent, so otherworldly, it feels like a distant lover. Soaring just beyond your nose, that knows this is a memory from a time before time. Chasing a thought, a moment held between each blade of grass, walking you through the neighborhood of your childhood dreams, where your mother's cooking smells like home. Your grandmother's hugs, her toast and butter, the salty air, and oil wells as you time travel on your bicycle, as if time doesn't even exist, because it doesn't. Your recall never sharper than when it travels through your nose and down into your heart, where the spirit of all things land and wait for the next hint of gardenia, summer rain on asphalt, newborn babies, wet earth, and the aroma of everyone you've ever loved. I feel your hand in mine. Do you feel it too? The touch of your soul as it connects to everything. Skin to skin, heart to heart, electrifying our sense of each other. Tingling up and down the spine of every tree as their oxygen runs deep through the lungs of each inhale, each exhale, as our Earth Mother breathes life into each breath. The water beckons, swim in my seas, float down my lazy river, feel the waterfall upon you, embracing you in tears of joy. Every nerve ending in blissful sensations, each finger running through infinite meadows as wildflowers tickle your toes. Hug the earth with an awareness that she is hugging you back. Her only desire is your compassionate presence. Touch everyone in your orbit with this same attentive compassion, because time is running out of our embodied knowing just how good it feels to be touched by love. What does the taste of your favorite food feel like? What does your life taste like? Feel the nectar of a juicy peach on your tongue. This sweet reminder that the sun shines upon the earth in perfect symbiosis. A match made in heaven as life proliferates through plants and trees and spices and herbs and bumblebees. Honey that sticks to lips as we gather in kitchens and around tables, sitting on top of blankets that sit on top of the earth, where our taste buds exuberantly talk to each other. Memories made in mouths, bellies, and hearts as we share food, conversations, our joys, and our sorrows. The table holds it all. The secrets, the longings, the stories, the pain, the love. Like our ancestors, the table withstands, it holds, it sees, it offers stability, like the legs beneath you. Vining berries and passion flower, a feast before your eyes, this sweet life. Our senses expand far beyond the 5 physical senses. We also inhabit a sense of life, a sense of movement, a sense of balance, a sense of temperature, a sense of language, a sense of perception, a sense of intuition. Sit with all of your senses. The interplay and the intimacy they share. Inhale the magnitude of what makes you, you. We are no different from one another, no different from all our fellow earthlings, the animals, the plants, the rocks, the fungi, the microorganisms, the ancient ones, our earliest ancestors. Sit in awe and wonder of your miraculous state of being. That you are here now. That you are a miracle. As you gently begin the journey all the way back to where you started, honor every part of yourself. Be tender with yourself. Hold yourself with grace, with compassion, with the knowing that you are holy and you are love. Bring all the treasures back into this moment. Back into your body and back into your life. And remember, the most intimate relationship you have is with yourself and your own heart. May you always remember this.
I'm pretty sure most people will be blissed out by this stage.
That's the only requirement.
Beautiful. And the music is such a transporter with the words, heartfelt and heart-chosen words. Like, they're real word keys. They always land and unlock something in us, don't they?
Yes.
Maddy looks super chilled out.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Your
I'm loud.
Yeah, your sound is loud.
Oh, it's the same as before. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you too. Honestly, what a tremendous gift and honor and privilege to be with you two right now. Honestly, you have no idea how meaningful this is to me.
That's so beautiful. And share with us how people can work with you, how they can get to know your work better. Do you sell? Do you have meditations that you've recorded that people can buy?
Not yet, but that is the next iteration of what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
I mean, if anybody's in the local San Diego area, I do offer this meditation in person once a week at a beautiful place called Four Moons. I don't think any of your people are nearby, but it's worth mentioning.
We've got a few Americans. Well, it's, we've got over 20,000 subscribers. So who knows?
Wonderful.
There'll be someone that you can help and that will be listening to this. But just that in itself was so deeply relaxing. And I think that is so important because so many of us are wired at the moment there's so much chaos in the world. And if you're not good at discerning and allowing yourself to be distracted and pulled into drama and all the stuff that's happening out there, then these are the perfect tools for people because it really helps people to just soften and surrender.
Yeah, thank you. I think so too, in all the ways that we can all do this and help each other. So people can find me through my website. I do work one-on-one with people if they want to create or continue a meditation practice in that regard. I can be found on Instagram. And I actually just, I have never done anything. I do have a YouTube channel, but there's nothing on it. But stay tuned on that because I'm going to start, recording more of this there.
And your I'll put everything in the show notes, but your Instagram handle isn't Lisa Goldman, is it?
No, it's Mama Lise. Mammaliss. It was what my daughter's friends called me back when they were young, middle school age, started calling me Mama Lise. And so back when I went on Instagram a million years ago or 12 years ago, whatever it was, it was just silly, right? Lighthearted, whimsical. And it's just stuck. And I've never, I'm too lazy, I guess, to go and come up with anything different.
I
But
like
honestly,
it.
I've kept it because I think what I do offer is a sense of true compassion and safety and kind of a mothering energy. It's what comes natural to me, and so I think it fits in that regard. But I can be found there, and I'm also just stepping into my astrological dreams I'm reading astrology. I didn't mention any of that, but that's a newer offering for me. So I offer, several little things, that fall under an umbrella of safe help. I'm a helper. And however I can be of service to make anybody feel seen and heard and listened to and known and relaxed and all of those things, that's what brings me honestly, the greatest joy.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. And I've just got one more thing. So just for people, if someone's never meditated before, what would you say to them to do?
I would say for them to connect with that part of themselves, just simply go back to the root of what do you love? And I don't care if I love, eating a hamburger. It's the first thing that popped in my head. I don't really eat hamburgers, but whatever it is, it could be like most people really do like to be outside in nature. It's hard to find somebody who doesn't. That's a beautiful gateway, but really, what is it that you enjoy? What is it you enjoy? And how can you bring that into a practice of presence? We won't even call it meditation. Just start with a couple of minutes. Meditation, you can have a profound state of relaxation and renewal in 3 minutes if you're present. So, if you love nature, go outside and really be present to the insects that are on top of the flowers, that just be present. If it's music, if it's your friends and you like to gather, if it's going out to eat, or like I said in the meditation, through your senses, activate your senses. There's a lot there.
There's a lot there, and I love that. And one thing that I do is when I'm outside, often I'll be chatting to the plants, but then I might even hum to them.
I
So
love
just,
that.
and because of course then we're settling our own nervous system, because humming massages the vagus nerve and just calms
Yes.
everything down. So I think that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Madeline, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think just a final question of, is there anything that we haven't talked about today that you would like to share with our audience?
I think we covered a lot of ground, ladies. This was beautiful. I mean, I would end with, I would love to read one sutra to really, out of deep honor and regard for Lauren and Camille, but Lauren wrote this book, and this is perfect. This is Sutra 50. All around you, in every moment, the world is offering a feast for your senses. Songs are playing. Tasty food is on the table. Fragrances are in the air. Colors fill the eyes with light. You who long for union, attend this banquet with loving focus. The outer and inner worlds open to each other. Oneness of vision, oneness of heart. Right here in the midst of it all, mount that elation, ascend with it. Become identical with the ecstatic essence, embracing both worlds.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Profound.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Lauren.
I'd
Thank
love to.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. I'd love to. Do you think it would be all right for us to get that and put it in the show notes? That's just stunning.
Absolutely. Yes.
Mm.
Me
Yeah, I think that'd
too.
be really
When
lovely.
when you were reading it out, I could hear Lauren's voice in the way that he would say that too, which is like,
Isn't he a
Very.
marvel? Do you want to hear something magnificent? Several months ago, right near where I live, I went into a market and there was Lauren standing there paying at the register. And I had never met him in person, just only, online. And I'm not a very bold person. I'm not, gregarious in the ways of like invading people's space. And I just was like, I have to go up and introduce myself. And he was the most beautiful, generous, jovial, joyful. I mean, he really is that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know, and he was just lovely. He invited me. They were teaching in the same center at a yoga center. And he said, please come, please. I couldn't. I was actually on my way to some other work situation. But he's incredible. So I just really wanted
Beautiful.
just to thank him and Camille. They're just the most beautiful people.
Yeah.
And, I owe so much of what I've learned to them.
Yeah, and it's amazing work. It's transformational work, and I love that it's so not rigid, that it's so about coming back to what does Bradley say? He says, a happy new now, like just being in the now moment and the feast that is around us always, just and becoming one with that. And yeah,
beautiful.
celebrating that. Yeah.
Do you
Thank
want
you,
me to
Lisa,
send
for
this to
being
you? Do you
here.
want me to type this out and send it to you in an email? And you can.
That'd be great. I'd
Okay,
love
I'll
it.
do that. Thank you too.
Thank you,
So you guys are
Lisa.
lovely, beautiful.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.